There we go. Hopefully I fixed that. Hey, well, everybody, welcome to episode 21 of the Rocket Punch Show. I'm your host, Cameron, as always, and right next to me here on the mics is not Seth. He has been banished to the Shadow Realm once again. Instead, I have special guest here, Jacob, the president of our local college, University of Alabama of Huntsville, the eSports team over there. So the president of UAH eSports, Jacob. Jacob, how are you doing this fine evening?
I've been doing pretty good, man. How are you?
Not bad. Busy as always, a little relaxed. But it's nice that we get a 3-day weekend this week. Maybe I'll do something productive finally in a weekend. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Um, but no, we're glad to have you on the show. Definitely going to talk more about you and UAH esports and a lot of that stuff here in this episode here. But for people who are confused, so I prepped everybody for this last week. Seth is out. He's on vacation. He's going to enjoy life outside of the rectangular screen here for the next 2 weeks. And so I've got Jacob is one of our two special guests here this week. And the next week I've got another special guest, who of which I will not be talking about until next Sunday. So, Jacob, no, we're excited to have you, man. Have you ever been on a podcast before?
I have actually, but never live. It was a pre-recorded.
Mm. So it's the same thing, sort of, just
Yeah,
with video. I guess I don't know.
except you can't edit out anything like I say, so it's a little more nerve-wracking.
I can still edit stuff out. Like don't It's only the people that are here live that are watching it as we stream the show. They're the ones that get like all the unedited stuff. So if I screw up for some reason, they'll be like, "Oh, I caught that." But I can easily some little post production magic, as we will, and take that out. So it's not a problem at all.
All right.
But guys, we're gonna get right into the show proper here. If for people who don't know, actually, let me back up here. Let people know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Jacob and UAH esports. We're going to talk about the 35th anniversary of Mario. We're going to talk about some new graphics cards that NVIDIA is dropping down, The Witcher, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and a whole lot more, guys, because this is the Rocket Punch Show, your southern source for all things gaming, geek, and more. You can listen to the show every Tuesday on your podcast service of choice. You can also listen to us live as we record the show each and every week for you right here on twitch.tv/Rocket Punch Live. Every Sunday around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will be here recording and bringing your guys' input into our show. Special shout out to all the people watching via Twitch right now. We definitely appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to learn more about Rocket Punch and what I do here, make sure you head over to rocketpunchgo.com. That's where you'll get all the information on the podcast, the videos, and streams that I make for you guys each and every week. If you want to be a part of the Rocket Punch family, make sure you head over to our Discord channel here. That way you can kind of help our community grow and be an awesome and respectful community in the world of gaming. Don't worry, people, if you're listening via podcast services, it will be in the show notes. The link will. A lot of different ways to support us, guys. The easy and free way, of course, is to review us on your podcast service of choice, wherever you're listening to this. You can also follow and share the content that I make over on social media at Rocket Punch Go. You see the little Twitter handle if you're watching video. And also help support Jacob and the esports team over there at esports UAH over on Twitter as well. You can definitely give them a follow, help support them. Also, if you want to go one step beyond, a lot of cool ways you can help us out as well, aside from sharing our stuff. You can be a subscriber to us on Twitch. You can also become a patron over on patreon.com/Rocket Punch. Either one of those avenues will get you some cool emotes or some special goodies, behind the scenes stuff, and a whole lot more that not everybody else is going to get for you there. Speaking of Patreon, definitely want to give a shout out to our Rocket Punch producers here. These are the people supporting us at our highest tiers over on Patreon or on Twitch. So special shout out and thank you to Jossie M, Sam S, Jeremy M, Stephen S, Adam C, and all of our Twitch subscribers right here on twitch.tv/Rocket Punch. My voice is going out, Jacob. You might have to help me. I might just have to make you take this whole thing over. No, first and foremost, before we get into the news here, guys, since Jacob is a special guest on the show, I'm gonna change the show up just a tiny little bit here. There won't be a topic of the show, but we are going to spend a little bit of time right here at the front and talk with Jacob about UAH eSports here. So I have a couple of questions I can poke with you, Jacob, here, but tell me, you're the president, you're the big dog on campus. Can I say that? Is that allowed?
I mean, I like to give credit to my other officers, but I mean, sure.
But well, they're not here. You're here, so talk to us. Tell us a little bit more. Tell me a little bit more about UAH and the esports team, like how it came to be, and kind of like what you, as president, like what is your main role and whatnot is. To start off with, break it down for us.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, we had revived the student-run esports club at UAH last year. Me and a couple friends of mine that were heading to UAH, and we have been doing pretty well so far. We've built the community up, raised over 3 times as many people as there were inside of the Discord server. So it's been really well. And yeah, this year is our second year really of existing, and we're planning on having up to 20 teams across different games now, with just as many students as we can get, and kind of build a community where people feel like they can meet some people and also compete on a level and have some fun. We're not all about just pure competition like some people try to be, and we try to enjoy playing and creating communities as well.
Well, that's good. That's awesome to hear. I like that. It's one of the things that I want to see, like just communities to bring people together, and like from all different walks of life come in and have fun with whatever topic they want to be doing, whether it's regular gaming, whether it's esports and competitive gaming. That's awesome. What next question, what specifically, like what do you do as president? What do you do? Like what do you have your hand in helping out with the esports team there?
I pretty much just oversee everything. I try to make sure things run as smoothly as possible, and obviously I help come up with a lot of ideas and events that go on or whatnot. And yeah, a lot of other officers actually do some of the heavy lifting for me, and they're able to produce event ideas, and we're all just pretty open officer community here, so I don't feel like I'm too superior over anyone else. But yeah, it's nice being in this position and being able to shoot my ideas out to my peers and see how they go.
Yeah, that's good, and that's good. That's what you want, right? You want to be able to work as a team. I think that always works best, and you get a lot of different ideas out there to better help the community. So that's really cool. What games are there? Specific games that you guys are focusing on with the esports team?
Yeah, so we actually have teams for I think like 10 games now. We just added a Fortnite team like today.
Okay.
And so we have a CSGO, Dota 2, Fortnite, Hearthstone, League of Legends, Magic the Gathering Arena, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Smash Ultimate, and Valorant. So I think that's exactly 10.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, so if the community's there, we just like to make a team for it, and we don't really care about skill level that much. If people want to play, then we'll let them play. So that's kind of how we operate, and it's been working pretty well. I think people are pretty satisfied,
That's
and
good.
yeah, it's been really nice. And also, like, we're not too casual. Like we've produced some very good results in the past. Like our first semester of existence, our Rainbow Six team got 6th place in the nation. Like it was crazy.
Really?
Yeah, we got so lucky, I swear, with that. They're all freshmen. It's like, how does that happen?
Oh, that's even better. That means they're going to be there the whole time, like for the next 3 years. Oh, that's great. So I'm going to go ahead and write down right now Rainbow Six Siege. You said Rainbow Six Siege, right? That's the team I need to look out for. Yeah, I definitely need to look out for that one. What specific ones are you good at?
I'm not the best at any game, but I have a general knowledge across the board of every game we offer, except for Dota 2. But
Who has knowledge for Dota 2? So.
Yeah, right. Because I'm a League of Legends player, and I also play Valorant currently. But I've
Okay.
reached my hand into all of our games pretty much at one point or another. Like I have 1,000 hours in Counter Strike and whatnot, but I currently only play Valorant and League of Legends.
Okay. So, I don't want to derail our conversation, but I have to ask because I have never touched Valorant at all. Like,
But yeah.
what do you think, especially as a competitive esports player, or at least in that realm, what do you think about Valorant?
Oh God, Valorant. It's a great game. I do think it's a really good game, and it offers a new twist to the Counter Strike kind of format that you see.
Okay.
And I kind of like the new fresh air it's given me, and I feel like it's still a new game whenever I play it. And as long as that occurs, I feel like I'll probably enjoy it more than CS for the time being. And yeah, I mean, I really like how they put the heroes in there and the abilities and try to mesh it with the Counter Strike feel personally. So that's why I've been playing it recently.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. I like that. That's a good answer. I'm trying to think. Are there any other questions I want to ask you about esports? I mean, like, has it in finding the teams? I'm assuming these are people that are on campus that are like, hey, you put out an open invite, say, hey, who wants to come play? Like, how is that process? Is it hard? Is it easy? What's been your guys' experience?
We've been pretty organized about it all. We were lucky to have a president last year who helped us get very organized in the hierarchy of our club. So things have been a lot easier than they could have been when it comes to finding people and making teams. But we kind of do a format where we have tryouts after or once per semester,
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah, so we just run the tryouts. We let the coaches decide how they want the tryouts to be ran, and then we'll just make it happen. And whatever players they feel like deserve to be where, they'll just put them there. And regardless of whatever team you're on, you're bound to find friends. So I think that's the main incentive we offer.
And that's really cool. Still having that competitive archetype, but still being able to like be casual enough to be like, hey, we're making friends, we're having fun, making new connections. Because gaming. Funny enough, I talked about it this week. Gaming, that's what it's about, man. It's about making those connections, for sure.
For sure, for sure.
Oh, I had another thought and another question. But for the life of me, I can't remember it. So, I guess we'll
It's all
just
good.
roll in there. Make sure, like, what are the events and shows you guys have? Are they ever like streamed online? Does it depend on the event?
So that's something we actually want to work on a lot this year. We want to be able to stream like as many games as possible that our teams play. But
Okay.
at the same time, we want to bring back a lot of events we had last year, like this really fun one called Extra Life. We're going to do again. It's a charity event where we just a 24-hour live stream. Everyone kind of gets together and we have like these little mini events and donation goals and stuff. So we definitely want to do that again.
Oh yeah,
And
we're
yeah,
very familiar with Extra Life here at Rock Punch. We do it every
so
year.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I have to hit you up about that. But yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah.
really
Um, what? And I had the question again, and then it left me again. Oh my god, I can't remember it. No, I do have the question. I remember it now. So I know, especially as of this recording here, we've got the whole COVID-19 stuff going on, things like that. Like, how has that affected the esports team, if at all? Because I know that one of the, I guess, benefits of being an esports team is that it's all digital for the most part, and you're not having to put on pads and throw a basketball around.
So I do think that it is somewhat improving. I mean, you expect like people to see esports and think like, oh, they're going to be like the only sport active this campus and stuff.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's pretty much what we're trying to be like. But our numbers are relatively the same as last year in terms of growth, and so and which is pretty good because we weren't able to get all the ways of advertising we wanted to.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we're definitely keeping in the back of our minds while moving forward. We're trying to make things better and more official because we do eventually want UAH to make us an athletics program and be able to provide us stuff and stuff like that. And yeah, I think this semester is definitely probably the most important one to achieving that goal because we're going to be the only club sport, probably for the most part, operating on completely online. And yeah, we can do everything the same way we did it last year. Luckily, outside of like some of our in-person events, obviously. But
Oh yeah, most definitely. But it sounds like it could be. You're still going to have some hurdles to overcome, but because of the format, it might be a lot easier for you guys to do something.
Right.
as opposed to everybody else. So that's really cool. Well, it's good stuff. I love it. That is one realm of gaming that I haven't dipped my toes in quite yet, is the competitive scene, and so it's good to have somebody on the show who knows that scene and understands it, to definitely give their input on it. Any events coming up that we need to know about?
We are going to be having an event. I think it's the next weekend. Let me just double check it.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
Uh, yes, it is next weekend sometime. I don't know. It's one of those days, and it's going to be this really cool event that our event manager came up with called Team Feud, where we're going to have two teams duke it out in like some Family Feud type questions with
That would be cool.
game related and stuff like that, and we get to allow our new stream manager to kind of get creative with how he wants to run that and whatnot. So it's going to be really exciting. I'm really happy that he came up with that idea. I'm really excited for that event.
Yeah, that is really cool. That sounds awesome. Well, definitely, for you guys throughout the semester and the year, I'm going to be rooting for you. I'm sure our listeners and viewers are going to be rooting for you guys as well. Hopefully you do well.
Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. So we got that breakdown. Lovely little chat with you, Jacob, here. Let's get into the meat of the show tonight, guys. So, guys, we've got the news here. Like I said, no topic of the show, but we got some pretty big, chunky news to talk about here. And this is going to be fun because Jacob, I'm going to pick on you for a minute. There are some games on this list that Jacob has never played or doesn't know about. And unfortunately, it has shown my age, and I feel really bad about it, but I'm still going to keep on rolling here. Let's jump into the news here with number one, probably the game I think you said you had no familiarity with whatsoever, at least in this franchise.
That's correct.
But number one here is the Prince of Persia remake is apparently rumored to be announced. Now, normally I wouldn't speculate on rumor, but let me read the story here, and then you'll understand why it's probably on this list here. This article from Tom Ivan over at, make sure I get this website right, videogameschronicles.com. Ubisoft is planning to announce a Prince of Persia remake during its upcoming Ubisoft Forward event. The French publisher recently revealed plans to hold its second Ubisoft Forward Games showcase on September 10th. Promising new games and big news, Ubisoft said the digital event will feature Immortals Phoenix Rising, the game formerly known as Gods and Monsters. And speaking on the latest Triple Click podcast, Bloomberg reporter Jason Schreier claimed Ubisoft is planning to use the event to announce a bunch of games like the Prince of Persia remake that was leaked a couple of weeks ago. Quote, quote. VGC's own Ubisoft sources later indicated that the claim was correct. This is... So, Jay, you know nothing about this game. You've never heard of this game. You've never played anything in this series.
I'm sure I've heard it maybe once in my life.
Maybe once. So we got something there. So Prince of Persia, the at least the game, the history of the game is it was a really, really old game way back, even when I was a kid, probably 20 some odd years ago, maybe more than that, where it was kind of like a 2D kind of side-scrolling kind of platforming action game. But the one that I think a lot of people really jumped into Prince of Persia with was, I think we're talking about it before the cameras rolled, were the Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. It's this game, very much action-adventure game, a lot of puzzle solving and platform solving, but the main mechanic was that you had this dagger that you filled with sand, and the sand, depending on how much sand you had, allowed you to speed up or reverse time, or even slow down or stop it for periods of time. So things like if you're in a fight and you're about to get hit with this big attack, you could rewind time to kind of maybe try and avoid it this time. Or if you got, you're platforming, you're jumping on something and you miss a ledge, you could rewind to make sure you don't die, and then try it again or get it right this time. Really cool game. I had a lot of fun with Prince of Persia in the Sands of Time. I know they've had a couple of games coming out here, but I'm very excited to see Prince of Persia coming back. That is a franchise that I think could really benefit from some of the new technologies that we're getting with next-gen consoles and whatnot. Does it sound, Jacob, like this would be a game you would play?
You know, I'll tell you one guilty secret. I don't tell many people. If it's a single player game, there's a 99% chance I haven't played it. I,
Mm,
I am such a multiplayer type of player. I will admit. I'm sorry, but
that's the secret. Okay.
it sounds like a cool game, and I would play it if I played single player
If
games.
you played single player games, you got them,
Yeah.
folks. If you played single player games, you got them. No.
You know, I've been thinking about like one summer I'll just like grind out all the best single player games ever made. You know, just go for it.
I don't know if you could fit all of that into one summer. I'm just gonna give you the spoiler alert right now.
Okay.
Um, but let's jump over here to story number 2, which is another single player game, but you have heard of this game here. Uh,
Yes.
Apparently, Witcher 3 is not done yet here. We're still getting a couple more updates. This one coming from the official CD Projekt Red blog here. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is coming to next generation. We are working on the next generation edition of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Developed to take advantage of the most powerful gaming hardware, the next gen edition of the game will feature a range of visual and technical improvements, including ray tracing and faster loading times across the base game, both expansions, and all extra content. The next generation edition of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt will release as a standalone purchase for PC, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 5, as well as a free update for everyone who already owns the game on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. So, Jacob, tell me, have you ever... You made single player, so I don't know if you've played it yet, but have you seen, do you know of The Witcher in some
Okay.
detail?
Yeah, I've watched the show on Netflix, and I've heard a lot of great things at the time of like The Witcher 3 being out. I've heard it's a fantastic game. So
The game is wonderful. There might be a time, sometime in the future, where I actually beat it, but that is not today, and that is likely not going to be any time in the near future. That game is massive. Like it is. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. You don't play a lot of single player games, so it's hard for me to put it into scale for you. But like I remember, I spent the opening zone. It's this like big, I don't say continental chunk, but this huge swath of land. You bounce around, you talk to people, and you do quests and stuff for them. But it's your starting zone to kind of help you learn the game and learn the mechanics and learn how to be a witcher and hunt monsters and stuff like that. And I spent, and I'm not exaggerating here, like a good 20 plus hours in the zone, like doing every quest I could find, just because that's usually the gamer that I am when I'm playing these type of games. And I didn't get everything done. I'm okay. Let me check the map here. The map. This was like one zone of like 7 or 8, and the other 7 zones were bigger than the starting zone.
okay, that sounds like a big game.
Yeah, and that I don't know if that even includes the DLC, the 2 DLC packs that came with the game that are part of it. That that
Yeah.
are add-ons additionally that add like I think one added an additional 20 hours, the other one added like 30 hours of gameplay. So yeah, if you want a time suck, that is a great game to get into.
Yeah, how does that compare to Skyrim when it comes to like the amount?
Ooh, boy, it's I haven't played Skyrim, but it's bigger than Skyrim. It's a good chunk bigger than Skyrim,
Wow.
to my
Yeah.
knowledge. So, and Skyrim's pretty big.
Yeah, that's a surprise to me, honestly. So
But no, it is good news, I think, to see it coming to next gen. It's nice that it's CD Projekt Red is firing on all cylinders. They've got Cyberpunk 2077 coming up soon in the next few months. They have this coming to next gen, so you can still procrastinate in beating the game. But the fact that they are getting a next gen update is pretty cool. I think it's something where you can still have that game. I'm assuming, like, I have the game on PC, and the game looks great on PC. I'm assuming the updates might be some higher fidelity models and maybe ray tracing.
yeah, I think they confirmed RTX, right? And
Yeah,
that's like
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's super exciting in my opinion because The Witcher was one of those games that, I saw these benchmarks for computers and it was always like The Witcher 4K is going to be the hardest thing to run in 60 FPS or whatever. And now they're going to add RTX on that. I wonder when we get to the 3000 series topic, I wonder how that'll go.
The game itself looks beautiful. Like sometimes I just played the game and I just stood there and watched the water like flow by and the clouds when the storms would roll in. Like it's a gorgeous game. Don't get me wrong, but like I can't imagine how much better, like having it look better than what it already does. And ray tracing is definitely one of those things that could help it along. So,
Oh yeah.
pretty excited about seeing that there. Um, let's move on to number 3 here. This is a game that you actually do know a little bit about. Number 3 here, Microsoft Flight Simulator apparently is doing pretty well. This one coming from Jorg Newman over at the Microsoft or the Xbox Wire. Microsoft Flight Simulator is the biggest game launch in Xbox Game Pass for PC history, with over 1 million players to date. Reading from here, guys, Microsoft Flight Simulator has a rich history as Microsoft's longest running franchise, and we are proud to announce we are celebrating the simulator's biggest launch in 38 years. Just over 2 weeks ago, Microsoft Flight Simulator launched, thanks to the incredible support of our community of fans, pilots, flight enthusiasts, and virtual travelers. We have had more than 1 billion unique players take to the skies. Additionally, Microsoft Flight Simulator was the biggest game launch on Xbox Game Pass for PC history. On behalf of the entire team, we'd like to express our gratitude to all the fans who have begun to explore the world and the magic of flight with us. It's been wonderful to see the reactions of Microsoft Flight Simulator from the community, who have flown more than 26 million flights and logged more than 1 billion miles flown to date. The equivalent of flying around the world over 40,000 times. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal here. So, Jacob, tell us, number one, what's your history with flight sims?
I'm not gonna lie, this is my first one, and I was shocked by how like much they did. I feel like this is such well deserved because that game it's so great. It's so good. Like I didn't think there would ever be a game that I could play where I could fly and find my house in the game, and like it's unbelievable.
That's so cool and yet slightly scary at the same time. But it's still so
Not
cool.
wrong.
But like the way I remember talking to some people at work about it, like the fact that it's the game. Full disclosure, I still haven't had a chance to play it yet. The big reason is that I don't have the hard drive space to put it somewhere. Maybe when I build my second computer, I'll be able to put it on there. But it's like it's 100+ gigs on installation, and then in order to like pull the data in, depending on where you are in the world, it's like over 2 terabytes of data streamed to your computer. And that's freaking ridiculous. And I had to I just don't have I have the data cap. I got Google Fiber, so I'm cool there. I just have to clear out some hard drive space for it. But I know I've seen nothing but good things about it. All the friends and people that have played it that I know have really, really enjoyed it. They really have.
Yeah, it's a great game, and I feel like I can land a plane if ever need be now. So there's that plus.
I don't know if it goes that in depth, does it? I don't.
I mean, I probably won't have the hotkeys, but I mean, I know what to press.
Arutu in chat says do a barrel roll. Can you do a barrel roll in the game?
Yes, you can, and it's fantastic. You have stunt planes. The only downside for a military type of shooter player like me is there's no jets.
Yeah,
I fly the big U.S. Army jets, but maybe with mods.
This may pique your interest, but I know if you like, because one of the guys said, "Oh, I'd play it if they had military vehicles." There is a flight simulator out there that does do specifically military aircrafts. It's called DCS. I forgot what that DCS flight. It's called Digital Combat Simulator, and it's basically think Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it's for military aircrafts and stuff like that. But if you like that could be a good game to check out.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Now, I want to ask too. Since you've played it, Jacob, did you participate or find out at all about the stuff that people were doing with Hurricane Laura recently in Microsoft Flight Sim?
I've thought about it, but I've never actually looked into like what people are doing. So, I
So,
mean, uh,
for full disclosure, so what happens is that the the game pulls real life like weather data into the game. So if you're we're in Huntsville. If you're flying over Huntsville and it's raining, it will rain in the game. If the weather people are saying it's raining right now, it's really really cool. And when Hurricane Laura came through, people were actually flying through the hurricane in the game. So they actually flew down over to the Louisiana area, and you could actually see the clouds in the hurricane, and you could actually fly through it. It was pretty cool.
yeah, that game is just it's groundbreaking. Honestly, everything about it is so groundbreaking, and it makes me scared for the future, but also excited at the same time.
Exactly.
We're gonna have real life human tracking while we're at it.
Oh man, don't. We may be one step. We may be closer to that than you might think.
Oh god.
Microsoft Ruru2 says in chat, Microsoft probably sells that to Air Force and charges $10,000 a copy. No, I don't think Microsoft actually doesn't make DCS. It's another company. And he also says there are massive typhoons over Japan at the moment. Go fly in that. So yeah, like if there are big like events like that, technically you could fire up Flight Simulator and go pick I want to fly in that area, and then it'll have that area. Whatever the weather's going down over there, it'll show it, and it was pretty cool. Like if you Google Microsoft Flight Sim Hurricane Laura, and they'll have a lot of really great pictures about it. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's such a cool game. I love it.
Really really cool. Oh, let's move on here to some more cool games. Number 4, apparently that Avengers beta did all right. This is from the official Square Enix Twitter account. A heroic achievement. The Marvel Avengers beta with globally the most downloaded beta in PlayStation history. Congrats to our team at Crystal Dynamics. Hashtag Embrace Your Powers on September 4th. The game is already out now, of course, for people who don't know. Jacob, have you played the game yet?
I have not, but I've been trying to assemble my friends and purchase it with me when it comes out. Or like, I guess I already asked him that, but purchase it with me.
I appreciate your choice of words there. Assemble your friends. That was good. No, I remember I played in the beta, and the beta was cool. It was fun. I had a lot of problems, though. I will definitely admit I had a lot of networking problems. I couldn't queue up with people, and when I tried to, it like kicked me back out. And there was a point where I actually couldn't even play the game. Even if I tried going single player, it would like boot me back to the login screen, and I had to, log back in. But the nice thing about betas is that they're betas. I've actually been playing a little bit of, actually I've been playing a good chunk of the main game recently. There's a good chance I might actually beat the campaign by the end of the weekend. But the game is fun. It's much more polished than it was in the beta. I will definitely say if you liked the game, but maybe not in its beta format, playing the full game, it felt a lot cleaner and a lot more polished and worked a lot better. There are a couple of small little quirks, I will definitely call it, in the game, but it wasn't anything too crazy to yell about there.
Yeah, I've always wanted like a game like that too, where you can play like as the Avengers and stuff like that. Ever since like Fortnite, I guess, did that Avengers event, and I was just sitting there like, man, it'd be really cool to have a game like this. And next E3, there it is.
And there it is. And guess what? You have this game, and Fortnite is doing another Marvel tie-in with the Nexus War. It's if you want to get me involved in stuff, all you have to do is slap the Marvel logo on it, and I'll probably at least like look at it. I jumped into Fortnite in forever. It's been years since I played that game.
Oh, yeah, same.
And I got 4 kills right off the bat, and I was in the top 30%. I was like, okay, sure, we'll go with that.
There you go.
But no, the Avengers game is cool. It's really good. I definitely want to play it with other people. I'm hoping to do that sometime this week and kind of further on September. So maybe I'll do a review on it as soon as I get more time with it and play the game. But it's really cool. Definitely worth your time to play. if you have some friends to assemble with you on it. Just make sure you guys choose the right platform. I don't know if they said they were going to have crossplay. I think they were. I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Next up on the docket here, number 5. Man, this is like the fastest. This is fun when you don't quite know all these games. Like, we burned through these stories real quick. Like, Seth and I would have already been like, we would have been on story number 2, which is fine. No, number 5 here. NVIDIA has revealed their next graphics cards to us. Let me make sure I'm clicking the right link here before I jump over here to the web. You guys can watch this lovely video here. This one is coming from their products page here. Powered by Ampere, NVIDIA's second generation RTX architecture, the GeForce RTX 3080 series graphics cards feature faster second gen ray tracing cores, faster third gen tensor cores, and new streaming multiprocessors that together bring stunning visuals, faster frame rates, and AI acceleration for gamers and creators. GeForce RTX 30 series GPUs also feature several wonderful world firsts. They're the first gaming class graphics cards with up to 24 gigabytes of new blazing fast GDDR6X VRAM. They're the first GPUs with HDMI 2.1 for 4K high refresh rate and 8K gaming. You heard me right, 8K gaming. They're the first discrete GPUs with support for the AV1 codec, enabling you to watch high-resolution streams using significantly less bandwidth. And our Founders Edition cards are the first with innovative dual axial flow through cooling solutions. There is a whole lot more in this article there that you can read at if you go to their product page. I am not going to jump through those hoops and bore some people who may not be technologically inclined. But Jacob, you like playing the games, especially on the PCs, since you're an eSports gamer. How does this make you feel? Be honest with us.
No, it's like one of the best announcements this year. Like, I haven't had an upgrade in like 4 years, and I've been waiting and waiting for like Ryzen 4000 and the next gen NVIDIA cards, and here they are, and wow, they're amazing. Honestly, like I was super shocked to see the leap they took over the 2080 and the 2080 Ti. Even like it's crazy.
It's really interesting. Like the system. So I have a 2080 Ti in the computer that is currently powering this stream right now. And the plan, which I'm glad I waited, the plan is to take that card and put it in my second streaming PC, and then I'm going to get a 3080 for this guy. So I'm really excited about that. But like the power in it, I mean, the new technology, there was so much more they talked about in this 30-minute presentation they gave. Like especially for creators, some of the shadow play stuff, and even some of the technology and how it communicates. It can communicate directly with the GPU, and it doesn't have to go through the processor to actually talk back and forth and send commands, which could operate and make it faster. Is really going to be excited. I know that I remember like earlier in the year, or maybe sometime last year, when we started hearing about these next gen systems. People were like, "Oh man, these next gen systems are going to beat out console," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. If that's what you think, give it a second here. We'll find out here." Thank you, the Duder19, for the follow. Very much appreciated. But coming in, they're like, I was just like, wait for the other shoe to drop, and like NVIDIA pops out with this, the 30, and they're very reasonably priced too, like the 3070 card, which is supposed to be as powerful as a 2080 Ti, is retailing for $499 in October. The 3080 GPU, which is supposed to be double the power of the 2080, is going to be available for $699 in like the next week or two. And then the 3090, which is supposed to be like the Titan killer, is $1499 and going to be available in the next week or two as well. And it's just like, these are kick-ass cards. These are going to be more cost-effective than ever. I think this is a really big boon. All my friends have been like, "Oh my god, I got to get this card." I'm sure it's been the same with you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Even my friends with the 2000 series who might have bought it like a couple months ago are like, gotta buy the 3000 now.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, a 2000 card is still great, you know. It's not like a dud of a card. It's still an amazing card. It's just people see this upgrade and they immediately think, oh, I need that. And I think NVIDIA they blew it out of the water this time, and the biggest leap since the 10 series.
Yeah. Well, I think the like you talked about, the upgrade is so significant. Even with the 2080 cards, there's a lot of other tech there that's really like stealing the show here. Rurutu in chat says DLSS 2.0 is the only thing that impressed me, and he also makes another good point too. I think that he says I think the Nvidia is worried about the consoles. That's a good point, and I kind of think that way too, because the fact that they're having these very powerful cards and they're coming out before the next gen consoles are going to come out. I think they're maybe trying to steal some thunder from them, and maybe even get some console players to kind of start looking in the PC's direction. Because if for people who don't know, NVIDIA has, I think the only NVIDIA GPU that's in a console is in the Switch. These next gen consoles are going to be powered by the AMD, whatever, you know, next gen AMD graphics processor. That's what the next consoles are going to be powered by. And so I think, you know, NVIDIA is definitely wanting people to get into their ecosystem, and PC gaming is their ecosystem. And I think this is 100% for sure going to, like, these, I expect these to sell out like hotcakes. Founders editions and all of the reference cards that third-party manufacturers are going to make. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. What is the first game you will play? Or number one, are you getting one? And which one are you getting?
I do plan on getting the 3080 right as it comes out, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I probably am going to test it out on League of Legends. No, I'm just kidding. I'll probably test it out on Microsoft Flight Simulator. That'll be
man.
I really want to see. Yeah.
Man. That's actually, I would love to see it. Maybe you'll actually be able to fully run that game with a 3080 in your pocket there.
Oh yeah, like the optimization's been pretty. It's been pretty rough, but at the same time, you think to yourself, you know, they're streaming 2 terabytes of data on my computer, and I'm still running this at 30 FPS. You know, it's pretty impressive. But
pretty good.
But I mean, I wouldn't mind 60.
Oh yeah. Rarutu in chat says it doesn't make any sense to price the 3070 at $500 unless they know some serious competition is coming. I mean, yeah, like these next gen consoles are definitely shaking it up, and I also think as well, you know, they don't want to fall in that trap of overpricing their graphics cards, and then whenever AMD comes out with, because I know their big Navi announcement is coming sometime soon, they want to stay competitive with that, and they don't want to get undercut by AMD and their graphics cards. So
yeah, and I think also talking on that, I mean, a 2080 Ti is a big graphics card, and I mean, $500 for that is just, it's pretty significant. So
I had one of my friends, he had like a 960 that he just recently sold for like $100, so that he's ready. He's ready to upgrade. Will, my friend and previous co-host of the show, he's all in on the 3080. He can't wait, especially for his Ryzen setup. That was like really the only big upgrade that he really needed. Yeah, nobody's buying the 2000 series at the moment, and honestly, this really just drives the price down on any 2000 series graphics card. If you're trying to get rid of it, well, too bad. It's done. Like, you can't. Why are you going to tell somebody, hey, buy my 2080 Ti for $400 when you can just say, well, if I pay $100 more and get the current gen 3070?
Yeah, I think it's going to be super significant with the pricing of PCs in the future as well, because like people are going to be wanting to sell their 2000 series and their 1000 series cards for like a significantly low price now. And I think that will definitely make the PC market a lot more affordable than it's known to be. At least the greatest since the 10,000, the 10 series.
Yeah, and I think it's also going to it's going to make ray tracing more affordable for people because I think of those 10s, especially the 20 series cards, are going to flood the market with people trying to drop them or sell them at a very low price just to get them out so they can afford the new 30 series cards. And for people who may not be able to afford those, picking up those 20 series cards will still be able to afford them a chance at ray tracing technology there. So that'll be really cool to see. Really cool.
Yeah, those cards are going to be huge, and I don't know how AMD is going to bounce back from it, but I mean, maybe they'll show out something off at the end of, I think it's the end of this month, right? They're doing the
I think
Computex,
so. I think
the
so.
Computex thing. So yeah,
It's over the next few weeks, but we'll find out and see.
I guess we'll have to figure out. I've been like debating if I want to wait for the big Navi announcement or if I want to get the 3080. And I look at I look at the price and I'm like, well, I mean that's there and that's not going to be there in like a day after it releases, so I need to probably step on.
I promise you that website will crash within the hour whenever on the morning of the 17th, whenever NVIDIA releases the 3080 for purchase. Yeah, unless you want to get a 3090, you want to pay $1,500 to get that big boy. I mean, you'd be the king of the crop there. But
I don't see any scenario where you need that, but I'm sure someone will find something.
if I have a 1,000 watt power supply. If for some reason I had the money to do that, I would consider it. Consider it. That's it though. That's really just like the swinging your thing in people's faces. Like, oh, I got the 3090. Oh yeah, there you go. So I digress. Last up here, story number 6 here on the news docket was in Nintendo, a company we haven't really talked about a lot. They had this surprise direct. I say surprise in the sense that nobody knew about it, but it has been rumored and leaked enough over the last couple of months that people kind of knew what was going to be shown here in the video proper. So they announced everything in this Mario Brothers 35th anniversary direct. They had a lot of announcements here. The big one I think that a lot of people were excited about is that there is a new game called Super Mario 3D All-Stars going to be released on Nintendo Switch on September 18th. It will include Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Some would consider some of the biggest 3D Mario games out there. Okay, again, I feel like I'm going to show my age a little bit here. Jacob, number one, have you even played any of these games? They're single player games, but they're Mario.
I don't. I have probably played them for not that long, but my cousin's really into Nintendo, so whenever I go over there, I watch him play whenever I'm bored and stuff. So.
Oh man, I remember it's man again showing my age. I remember when all these games came out. I remember playing them at around the launch time, having too much fun. It's been really really great to. It's really great to see the ability for people to play these games again on the Nintendo Switch, especially Super Mario Sunshine. I'm not gonna get on a rant here, but I need people to understand. Super Mario Sunshine got a bad rap, and I think that game is good. In my time playing with it, I remember it being very, very fun, but for some reason, people just don't remember it that way, and they're just like, I don't care, Mario Sunshine's horrible, it's not that great of a game. But they love Super Mario 64, and the fact that those two and Galaxy are all bundled up in a nice, big bundle for you is very, very nice. Now, this was really weird. The one thing to know about this is like this game is available starting September 18th. It is available physically and digitally until March 31st, 2021. Which is weird. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah, I watched a video about this, and I thought it was really weird too. And also, I think there was something with the haptic feedback trying to be implemented into Mario Sunshine, where you like play on one Joy-Con or something like that, or on Mario Galaxy. And the thing is, the Switch Lite has two that you can't take off. So I'm really wondering what the plan is for that stuff.
They have already told people that if you have a Switch Lite, you have to have a separate you have to buy Joy-Cons in order to play the game.
Yeah.
If you have a Switch Lite. Um, Verutu says, "Are they planning on making a Super Mario 3D Maker?" Not to my knowledge. I haven't heard anything about that. He also says COVID supply chain problems. You see, that could be a reason, but the problem is that is for physical and digital distribution. Is that it will be available until the end of March, and it doesn't make any sense why they would just all of a sudden not sell the game anymore, unless. And here's my concern, because these games look fun and I want to play them, but I have concerns if, like, at the end of March, they're just going to take them off the shelves and maybe try and resell each game individually for a higher price. And then and I guess my other complaint, just my voices here, is that I wish I was expecting it at least maybe some type of remaster or rework on these games here. And it looks literally like all these games are like, take them out of their N64 and the Wii and the GameCube and make them work on Switch, and that's it.
Yeah,
they're selling it for $60, and I would have at least liked, maybe like a full remaster of Mario 64, or maybe like a higher res version of Mario Sunshine. Arutu in chat says, copying the Disney limited time for old stuff. These going back into the vault. Yeah, like, get them while you can, or else they're going to go back into the vault, the Mario vault. I don't know. I don't. Some people started talking about that, and that did kind of rub me the wrong way. I mean, I haven't jumped on or pre-ordered these. I love Mario to death. I have memories with all these games here, but I'm not. There hasn't been some like super big itch for me to go ahead and start pre-ordering these and get them ready for purchase. I don't know. I don't know. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, I do think it's pretty weird because, like, you think supply chain problems. I mean, I don't really know. Like, I don't want to predict the future, but by then you think things would be a little better in that department.
Mm-hmm. You would think.
Yeah. And also, it would have been cool if they did like a Master Chief Collection thing where you could like switch on the classic or switch off the classic graphics, Because I know some fans are probably going to see that as a plus, but I mean, it's really nice to kind of go for both sides of it. But I mean, it is pretty interesting. I really wonder if Nintendo is going to explain like why they did that.
They won't, and I don't. People are going to be okay with that because it's Mario, and people love Mario. They're like, oh, okay, I got all these games that I wanted, even though I really like. All it feels to me is these are just like they just took the games, packaged them together, and they're going to sell them to you for a limited time to maybe try and push sales. And then after the 31st, I really think that the only way you'll get these games is that you'll have to buy them separately for anywhere from $30 to $50 a piece.
Yeah, some billionaire is going to buy everyone's copy and then upscale it on the market.
Yeah, because that's how people do things, and it's frustrating and it's weird. But what are you going to do? Other announcements from this Nintendo Direct here. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is arriving on Nintendo Switch on February 21st, 2021. Super Mario 3D World, which was released on the Wii U in 2013, will be released on Nintendo Switch next February. It includes something called Bowser's Fury, but Nintendo hasn't quite revealed what that will end up being. They also announced that Cat Mario and Cat Peach amiibos will be released alongside the game. So it's something, again, for the people fervently wanting to add to their amiibo collection. There you go. Next game up here, this is pretty cool. Mario Kart Live. Created in partnership by Nintendo and Velan Studios, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit brings Mario Kart to the real world by letting players race through their own home in this AR experience. The physical kart responds to boosts in game and stops when hit with an item. Players can create a custom course in their home and so much more. This is a pretty cool detailed thing. They got the little your karts and your AR and stuff. Would you? Number one, have you played Mario Kart? And if you have, like, would you play this physically?
I think it's interesting. I really do like Mario Kart, and I think it's nice to have another addition to the series. Even though they're kind of starting to run into a wall of ideas, you can tell like they're trying to get little things out there that weren't in the last one, but aren't necessarily like making it any better or anything. So Yeah, I think it's cool to see another Mario Kart game and let the legacy continue, I guess.
Okay, pretty cool. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if it'll do well or not. But next game up on the list is Game and Watch. Super Mario Brothers brings classic games to a modern take on a classic device. Game and Watch Super Mario Brothers is a new collectible device and is inspired by the original Game and Watch systems that were released in the 1980s. This device will be able to play Super Mario Brothers Super. Oh God! This device will be able to play Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, and a special version of Ball with a Mario makeover. Additionally, the Game and Watch Super Mario Brothers will also function as a clock, with 35 little touches to discover, and it will be released this November. That's pretty cool. You know nothing about this because that was way before your time. But I know a tiny little bit about Game and Watch, and so that's really cool to kind of see a Super Mario Brothers version of that there.
Wonder how that'll do in the sales department.
I think Rurutu put it pretty well in chat here. He says, "Hey, 40-year-old kids, do you want this dose of nostalgia? It's for a limited time. It's only this much money." And I think that's really what it's aimed at, is for people just that remember and lived around that time to be able to play the game.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If Nintendo decides to do that, I'm sure people, on the other hand, are kind of like, "Well, we want new stuff or whatever." But I don't think it's a
Yeah,
bad plan.
I've got a Super NES Classic over here because of nostalgia, so
Yeah, exactly.
I can't argue. The Duder Boy 19 Game Boyish. It looks here I can show a quick picture of it. Flipping over there. Yeah, it looks, yeah, sure, I guess kinda. Maybe Game Boyish. Good point. Good way of describing it. Next one up here that was announced: Super Mario Brothers 35, a Mario Battle Royale, because of course everybody's got to have a Battle Royale. Super Mario Brothers 35 features 35 players, and it is a competitive online battle game that will challenge players with being the last Mario standing. Enemies that are defeated will be sent to the other player's courses and vice versa, and there will be special items around the maps that will hinder your opponents. It will be released as a digital-only game exclusive on the Nintendo Switch Online for Nintendo Switch Online members on October 1st, 2020. Nintendo has also stated it will only be playable again until March 31st, 2021. Which that date is so weird, but the idea sounds cool. 35 Marios enter, one Mario leaves. It's pretty dope. Pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, and you can tell Nintendo's trying to squeeze out as many Mario things as they can before the hype dies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what can we get? Um,
It's like, will I die before Mario games are stop being made? That's
no.
the question.
Oh, yes, you will. Oh, no. They will continue on into perpetuity as long as there's a fan base.
Yeah,
They were always
exactly.
a Mario game.
Super Mario Flight Simulator coming.
Don't give Nintendo any ideas, please. Um, and then next up, guys, Super Mario All Stars is released right now on Nintendo Switch. Super Mario All Stars, which was originally released on the Super NES in '93, includes upgraded versions of Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Super Mario Brothers 3, with enhanced 16-bit graphics, and it is available on the Switch. Probably as of this recording. Jump on there right now, play it. Um, I'm sure you've at least played like Mario Brothers.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, oh God! If you had said no, I would have just been done with the play. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, done.
No, Super Mario Brothers 3 was also a good one. Super Mario Brothers 2 is one that not a lot of people talk about. I've never got a chance to beat it, and I don't know, something different about that grabbed people a different way there. So definitely one to check out as well. But they're available now if you want to grab those. They have a lot of other like in-game celebrations. They have a Mario Kart Tour. We'll have a special Mario Kart Tour event. A Ninja Speed Run is going to be available. Super Mario themed Splatfests. In March 2021, Super Mario themed furniture will be available in Animal Crossing New Horizons. So for all my Animal Crossing peeps out there, there you go. And they have collectible pin sets and a bunch of other stuff that you can definitely get your hands on there. Pretty cool. Like it's really cool to celebrate, and it feels really weird that it's been 35 years since Mario was a thing. But he's definitely the big dog as far as mascots are in the gaming realm. There.
Well, yeah, 100%. And I don't think it's a bad choice to kind of dip their hands into the nostalgia bucket and try to get some stuff out that maybe the older generation will appreciate. I don't think it's a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea as long when's the next Mario? I love Mario to death, and these are really cool things. I think to some extent, Nintendo likes to pull the Disney trick, and they will squeeze every last drop of nostalgia for as much money as they can. And we all like to do it because it's Nintendo. Woo, nostalgia, And I'm curious when. Again, I mean this podcast should just be titled "Cameron Shows His Age." Is like I'm curious to see when we're older, like 20 years down the road, what people in your generation, Jacob, are going to be like. What's the nostalgia game that if Epic Games said we got Fortnite Classic, boom, and you're like, oh my god, I remember that game. How people are going to feel about that. It'll be really cool.
It's not my generation. It's like the one right below me, hopefully.
Yeah. The Duder19 in chat says Nintendo's trying to push Switch sales again. Supplies back for now. And that could be the case, Duder. I just don't think they really have to push. They don't have to release they could take their time and work on stuff. There are plenty of great games for Nintendo Switch. Just give them Breath of the Wild. They'll be fine for hours on end playing that game because that game is gorgeous.
Yep.
But I digress. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's interesting how Nintendo operates compared to other consoles or other gaming platforms because it's a very relatively low cost to get into, but the games afterwards are what's gonna drive your wallet. Is what I've been figuring out after my girlfriend got a Switch. Has been like, what games do I get? This one's $30, so I guess that's cheaper than $60 one.
And especially a lot of games don't lose their value as fast because Nintendo's Mario is only on a Nintendo platform. You're not going to get it anywhere else, not on PC, not on PlayStation, not on Xbox, only on Nintendo. And so those games do tend to hold their value a lot longer. The most you may see nowadays is maybe $10 off. So $50 for Zelda or Mario Odyssey, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the opposite of the PC market is what I was going to bring up because the PC market is a high cost of entry, but the games, there are so many games, especially on third-party websites that you can get for so much cheaper than they would be on Steam or wherever you wanted to buy it originally. And I think it's interesting how that operates.
It's really interesting. It's really weird. It's really cool. And I think just Nintendo can do that because a lot of people treat Nintendo as the secondary console or the console for their kids, and we compare them to Disney, but they fit right into that archetype, man. Hit on the nostalgia bones, have a lot of family-friendly games that parents feel comfortable getting for their children to say, hey, play on your Switch or whatever. And they a lot of the times they make their hardware geared towards children and younger people like the Nintendo Switch Lite, where you don't take the Switch Joy-Cons off, so that way you don't have to worry about it getting banged up and saving some money there. So a lot of cool stuff. I'm sure the All Stars 3D game is going to sell gangbusters. I will debate on getting it because I don't know. Right now, a part of me feels like I'll get it just for getting it. I don't know if I'll jump back into any of the games anytime soon. I'd rather play Odyssey before I play 64.
Yeah, Nintendo has quite the devoted fan base compared to all the other markets, I would say.
They were definitely up there. Everybody loves Nintendo. They do.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, guys, that is it for this episode 21 of the Rocket Punch Show. We are now legally allowed to drink. Maybe when Seth gets back on the show, I might crack open a cold one here. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight here. Jacob, thank you very much for joining us here. Before we wrap up here, anything else you would like to say? And also make sure you plug where people can find you and the UAH esports teams and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you guys can find us on Twitter at esports UAH, on Instagram at UAH_esports. on Facebook. If you just type in UAG Esports in the search bar, and on Twitch at UAG Esports underscore anything. And yeah, I mean, I really appreciate you bringing me on today.
I know. Very glad you could come out and hang out with us here, hang out with me, chat about some games for a little bit here. The next time we bring you on, I'm just gonna like load it with esports stuff, like, because then I'm gonna be like, you talk, Jacob, because I don't know what the hell Valorant, like. He did the thing with the crosshairs and the stuff. I don't know what's going on. You got to tell me this. No, but very glad to have you on here. I've talked about it before. I definitely like having guests and different people on, get a lot of different perspectives on a lot of the topics that we talk about here. So it is anytime we can get you on here, we definitely will.
Oh yeah, and we have quite a community that would love to be on here as well. So just let me know what you need.
Yeah,
we can get that.
I definitely will. Definitely will.
All right.
But everybody listening and watching in, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Remember to head over to RockyPunchGo.com for all your Southern gaming cool stuff needs. And until then, good night and good game.